It's exactly 4 p.m. here in the capital. Thank you so much for joining us on News Now, where we tell you all the stories that are making headlines right now. And it starts now with the highlights. The highlights. Ndindi Nyoro speaks on being removed as the chair of the Budget Committee.
So I'll be glad to also talk about that at the fullness of time.
Your country is fortunate that it can rely on the ideas and energies of millions of young citizens.
Also, Kenya and the Netherlands have signed MOUs in trade, agriculture and tourism. And senators grill Health Ministry over budget overspending. Thank you again for joining us. My name is Ibak Said. To start us off, King Willem-Alexander of Netherlands meeting President William Ruto at State House, Nairobi, did not shy away from turning up the heat in the continued call of the government to respect the voice of the people, human rights, good governance and accountability. Now, the voice of the Dutch royal in his first day of tour, adding to the growing voice from different quarters, criticizing how the Kenya Kwanza regime has been handling vital affairs affecting Kenyans. King Willem promising to engage different stakeholders, especially the youth, on these issues during his 3-day royal tour.
We believe in the future of Kenya, a future that will be determined by the Kenyan people. With a population whose average age is 20, your country is fortunate that it can rely on the ideas and energies of millions of young citizens. The people of Kenya, like those of the Netherlands, want their rights as free citizens to be respected and their voices to be heard. I'm pleased that our country's strong and mature relationship allows us to devote attention during this visit to issues like human rights, good governance, and accountability. We're grateful to have the opportunity to discuss the concerns that exist in these areas. Later this morning, at the Ambassador's residence, we will be meeting young Kenyans to hear their views on recent developments. What opportunities do they see to build a bright future for the country they love? A future in which everyone can participate on an equal footing. Legal certainty has a fundamental role to play in this respect, and is also essential for Kenya's economic development.
Now, medical interns today staged protests citing the government's failure to honor an agreement signed last year. The deal would have ensured they retain a monthly salary of 206,000 Kenyan shillings. They have issued an ultimatum to the Ministry of Health demanding the immediate implementation of the 2017 collective bargaining agreement. Failure to comply, they warn, will result in a nationwide strike in May. The interns presented their petition to the Ministry of Health, Parliament, the Salaries and Remuneration Authority, and the National Treasury.
We cannot sit down to negotiate for medical officers when we leave the interns out. If we are negotiating a collective bargaining agreement, it is done in entirety from the interns to the consultants. We must involve all the dentists and everybody else. And that's why, yes, last year we fought very hard. We had bloodsheds, we had tear gas canisters around, we had sweats. But at the end of the day, the threats of the government, the intimidation, and any doubts that they will not comply to CBA were kicked away. And the doctors, currently interns who are in the facilities, were paid as per the CBA. We have noticed a new trend where the new cohort, that is you, appear to maybe less aggressive or maybe less ready to be on the street. And there's a thought to reduce your wages back to 70,000 was for last year. This year they probably reduced it to 40,000.
Counsel for Brian Odhiambo's family, watching brief for Vocal Africa, Abuya Mugendi, alleged that there were deliberate efforts to interfere with the investigations into Brian's disappearance. This comes after the DCI, Brian's family, activists, and an informer who claimed to have critical information stated that he had seen Brian's body at Lake Nakuru National Park. However, concerns have emerged after some of Kenya Wildlife Services officers who were in office during Brian's disappearance were transferred with new personnel taking over.
Mimi kama msasi sijaridhika na kenye nimeona. Hizo grave yenye nimeona ni kama zimetolewa mwili ndani, zimefichwa pahali. Si ati tumeenda huko bure. Lakini najua itajulikana tu.
Mimi kitu naweza waambia, kesho tunafikisha mwezi 2 tangu Brayo apotee. Msaidieni tu, msaidie watoto wangu kutupatia tu Brayo na justice ya Brayo.
Let us remind everyone that the witness that we had did not, beat around the bush. When we arrived at the scene, he went straight to where he said he saw the bodies. If he has been away, how did he know that there are holes there, that there are graves there, or anything that might have been there? This is the question we are asking. The witness said that he saw shallow graves, and that in one of those graves, there was the body of Brian Odhiambo. We went up to that particular spot. It was marked by the DCI as spot number 4. We even tried to dig, but there was nothing there. But clearly, without a doubt, there was a hole there.
There has been, in our view, concerted efforts to frustrate the entire exercise of an investigation into the now what we understand to be the forced disappearance of Brian Odhiambo. When we got to the park today, of course, there were intense, checks. They had to even, ask that we only a few of us get into the park. Of course, they said they had their reasons to do that. When we were still there, we learned that, number one, all those officers that were there when Brian disappeared have actually been transferred.
And the Kenyan Pipeline Company has embarked on a nationwide operation to evict illegal squatters from its pipeline Wayleave land. The multi-agency exercise, which targets 16 counties along the 1,342-kilometer route, commenced on Tuesday morning in Embakasi at the former Taj Mahal site. Speaking while addressing journalists, Kenya Pipeline Company Wayleave manager Stanley Manduku said the operation is aimed at safeguarding communities living along the pipeline from potential hazards resulting from human activity close to and atop the oil pipeline.
KPC, Kura, and KRC Wayleave at Taj Mahal area. This particular exercise is the commencement of a series of quite a number of clearances that we intend to undertake as Kenya Pipeline. And the reason why we are taking this particular exercise is because of the safety and the security of our people. We have had incidences in the past whereby we've had petroleum products leaking, and we even had a situation whereby we even had a gas incident. And basically what Kenya Pipeline handles, the product that Kenya Pipeline handles is highly flammable. We are all aware about that. And it passes through the pipeline system. What has happened is that of late we've had a very serious encroachment on the pipeline Wayleaves. And this prompted the national government, and more specifically the cabinet secretary in charge of energy and petroleum, to issue directives that these areas must be cleared.
Now, traffic along Nairobi's busy Jogoo Road came to a standstill today as traders protested against the planned demolition of Uhuru Market. The agitated traders lit bonfires and barricaded the road near the Likoni Road junction, disrupting access to the Nairobi Central Business District CBD and causing a major traffic snarl-up as motorists scrambled for alternative routes. However, Area Deputy County Commissioner Philip Koima dismissed the claims, clarifying that the government plans to construct a 350 million shilling modern market to accommodate more traders.
Wakasema ya kwamba sisi hiyo soko tunataka tujenge. Wakati tunajaribu na huko kulikuwa na waria walikuwa wanasema yeye ndio contractor. Na unajua tumewahi riski hivyo soko yetu tena ikafanya nini? Ikaenda. Tena ilienda na mtu aina hiyo. Sasa leo tena tunaangalia tunaona hii kiwanja yenye ilikuwa imebaki na ambapo iko na watu zaidi ya 2,000. Imeambiwa ya kwamba ni leo tu tuko hapo peke yake, kesho tunatoka. Na hizo kuna watu wamekaa hapo for 30 and 35 years. Na tujaambiwa mahali mbadala mahali penye tutaenda. Notice ya siku 5. Kwa hivyo hao watu wenye unaona hapa, hao watu wote karibu 2,000 na familia zao wanakulianga kwa hii soko. Na dizizi wetu ndio anatumika. Pamoja na vikorogozi zingine ziko hapa zinataka kunyakua hii shamba.
We want to give the residents of Uhuru Market and more so the traders. We give them an assurance that there is no scheme to steal their property or to steal the market. The market is being put up by government through the state. Of course, the State Department of Housing is going to facilitate the construction of the modern complex market.
Sports News.
Let's get sporty. The national men's soccer team, Harambee Stars, touched down in Abidjan earlier today, where they're scheduled to lock horns with Gambia on Thursday this week in an enticing World Cup qualifiers tie. The squad, led by recently appointed South African coach Benny McCarthy, will hopefully clinch all 3 points away from home before hosting Gabon at the Nyayo National Stadium on Sunday evening, and Kenya currently sits 4th in Group F with a total tally of 5 points.
Of the players we've joined, we've reported to camp, and the mood is quite amazing. Everybody is really looking forward for the first assignments of the year, which is Gabon and Gambia. So we just want to thank the federation, also the new federation, starting with the president, Mr. Hussein, and also our able vice president, McDonald Mariga, for making a good, peaceful environment for the players to come and camp and to perform. We saw also the coach, the new coach, believing in a lot of players. He called up a good number of squad.
And the Denver Nuggets showed their class in the absence of Nikola Jokic as Aaron Gordon dropped an impressive 38 points. And with that, we close this bulletin, but be sure these stories and many, many more will be updated in our subsequent bulletins. Thank you so much for joining me, Hibak Said, this lovely Tuesday afternoon. Have yourselves a very wonderful day.